a lot of credit to Valpo. Watching them on tape, I told our guys a couple of days ago, I said, this is by far the best mid-major team that we've played this year. So we knew that they were dangerous coming in. I thought particularly number 7, Pettigrew, man, he was a load. He drew 9 fouls on us. And just a tough matchup with his ability to spin and get angles. But, man, our guys really hung in there. And I thought the poise and the connectivity that the guys showed down the stretch was huge. In the first half, we had a goal to hold them under 31 points. We held them to 27, which we had to have because that was one of the worst offensive halves that we've played. Our guys got really tense. There were some open shots that we missed. And, when that happens, you got to stay with the process. You got to stay with each other. You got to help each other. I thought we got a little bit fragmented, a little bit, bothered by what was happening. You got to stay with it. But, again, the way our guys defended gave us a chance to be in the game. And then, I just think the guys did a really good job hanging in there throughout the second half. It was a much better half for us offensively. We shot the ball a lot better, but we were behind the entire half. And, you could feel it like, man, when are we going to take this lead? But the guys never wavered in terms of their connectivity. Valpo deserves some credit. They made some tough shots. That 3 in the corner when we had taken a 2-point lead was huge for them by number 12. And guys just hung in there. The play at the end of regulation, we had the ball in the hands of the guy we wanted. I haven't watched the video yet. Some people said it was a foul. I'm not going to say it was or wasn't, but that's all we can do is put the ball in the hands of our guys. I thought Chase and NJ both did a terrific job attacking and getting to the foul line, and the foul line won us the game, obviously going 8 for 8 in the second half, or in overtime.
32 free throws for you guys. What do you like about NJ, just his poise in those moments, those clutch free throws?
He's got a lot of guts. He's got a lot of toughness. The thing that I'm most impressed with NJ is his response. We say response is your ability to focus on the next most important thing. And in these games, man, I don't care who you're playing. It's a game of mistakes. So there's things that happen. There's turnovers. There's missed shots. You get his shot blocked a couple times. Then you got to learn from the game and you got to respond. And I thought he did a really good job of that. Defensively, he's coming. I mean, he's learning from each of these games, each of these experiences of what's required on that defensive end. And I thought he took a step today. But, man, just his guts and his connectivity with his teammates tonight was huge.
You mentioned the scoring drought in the first half, and then defensively for you guys, I think they shot 59% in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you assess the inconsistencies or the struggles for your team?
They're real. That's how I assess them. And we could probably talk for a half hour about what goes into each. As you mentioned, first half, really good defensive half for us. Second half, not as good of a defensive half. Valpo got going, running their actions where the ball was moving and they were attacking, getting to multiple sides. We weren't able to impose our will as much in the second half on defense. Although I did think down the stretch of the game when they had 7-point lead, our guys' connectivity, ability to get stops at crucial moments was huge. Obviously, to be able to send the game to overtime. Offensively, way better in the second half than we were in the first half. First half, major struggles in terms of just, 1, making open shots, 2, some of our rim decisions, 3, sometimes our spacing, 4, the ball sticking. All things we work on every day. But right now we're at a point where in the game, there's a little bit of a lag in terms of carryover of what we do in practice. And that's our job as players and coaches to trust and understand that what we do and work on every day, we've got to stay with. And even if we missed our last 5 open 3-point shots, let's keep fighting to get in the paint. This is a team that has to get to the foul line like we did in the second half of the game, and that allows us to win.
You didn't call a timeout until overtime. I'm just curious, when the game is like that close and that back and forth, just why why weren't you so rushed to call a timeout? Why'd you leave it up to the players?
I mean, there's a timeout every 4 minutes, first of all. And, we just call timeout when it makes sense. I don't know if I can tell you. I guess we could watch the tape together and you could tell me where we should have called timeout. But, we used a couple there to set our defense, but that was later in the game. I was close to calling one a couple times where Valpo was on a run, but when you get a stop and you're going the other way and you feel like you have a chance to get something in transition, the last thing you want to do is cut that off by calling timeout. But I call timeouts for a few different reasons. One, to give our guys a break physically. Two, to kind of reset what we're trying to do. Three, just to remind them of certain details. And, if I feel like we need to do that, then I'll call it.
You guys went from shooting 8% from three in the first half to 71% from three in the second half. So did you make notable halftime adjustments, or were shots just starting to fall in the second half?
We did not make adjustments to our three-point shooting. I mean, it's a volatile stat. I think that if we go and look at those, we only shot 21 threes on the night. I think if we go look at those threes, 18 or 19 were really, really good looks. But that's the thing with the three-point shot. I mean, it can literally be 8%, one half, hopefully not too many halves where it's 8%. And it can be 71% another half, probably not going to be too many halves like that. So that's a wider range than normal, but the key is we want to get open looks for guys that have proven in practice that they can make shots. And the way that teams defend us, sometimes that's the best shot we can get. Actually, today it was easier to get in the paint than against some of the teams we'll play, so we didn't shoot as many threes.
Was there any consideration to foul up three at the end of the game?
We actually worked on both situations late in those late game situations in shoot around today. Sometimes you get lucky and you can predict what's coming, but I'd be lying if I told you I knew for sure we were going to be in that situation. So we worked on not fouling, and the times when we don't foul typically is when there's a lot of time. So I think there was 16.5 seconds. Last thing we want to do when we have a three-point lead is extend the length of the game and give them more possessions by fouling. If there was a lot less time, typically our rule is 7 seconds, 6 seconds, then we might take a foul. But I'll tell you, you got to be careful with that too, with this new continuation rule. I mean, you better make sure he's fouling damn near with his back to the basket or the ball's on the floor bouncing back up, because if that ref calls it and he throws like a Hail Mary shot, then all of a sudden it could be 3 shots. So, yeah, that's our plan in those situations, to not foul with that much time. And I thought our guys did a really good job executing our defense. There were some good switches out there. Didn't let them get a clean look, and the shot that they did take was 30-some feet.
You went with Adrian more in the second half. What do you like about the way he played today?
I liked the look in his face. I liked his clarity. I mean, to be honest with you, we got right now a lot of guys that are learning how to be lost in the fight. And, it sounds easy. It sounds simple. But, when that game went the way it went offensively in the first half, as an individual player, sometimes that can create cloudiness in the mind. And I thought a few of our guys had that. And when I saw that, all right, that means you need to sit and watch. And that means we need to find 5 guys that have a mental clarity to go after winning. And I thought Adrian had that. He's a freshman. He probably leads the team in amount of discussions with our coaching staff just about being okay, going after winning, being his best. He's a very thoughtful, caring young man. He wants to do the right thing. But this is a big jump. It's a big jump from high school to college. And I'm really hoping that tonight is a game that he can use as a springboard, because I love the way that he stayed tough, responded to mistakes, That was a huge three made down the stretch. We always say the basketball guys are only going to let you make that shot if you're in the right place in terms of your mind and your heart and your soul. And I thought that he was.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about Sean. Is he back practicing, or how close do you think
He's close. Yeah, he's close. He's not practiced full go yet, but I think that's coming soon. So I can't say for sure that he'll be able to play in our next game because I got to see him in practice first. But, you can see him jumping into certain things that we're doing, but he's not practiced like full go when we go white against blue yet. We'll be off tomorrow, and then we'll have 2 practice days to prepare for Saturday. So I'm hopeful that we can get him in there because, what he does is he gives us another experienced guy, even though it's been a long time since he's played, other than the 3 games he had earlier. He has some experience and some poise that we really need.
Shaka, you mentioned Saturday, big game obviously for a lot of fans and alums. How are you going into that game? Are you going to have to deal with inconsistency this year, or how do you feel your team is going into Saturday?
Well, I think, right now, you'd probably be hard-pressed to find many teams that are not dealing with inconsistency. We may be dealing with more than some. Are we going to have to deal with that all year? No, I think we're going to continue to get better, but, the other team, throws challenges at you too. And I think our focus, most importantly, is making sure that we're connected with each other with one common mission. The game's going to go the way the game goes in terms of details, but that connectivity is a must for us, particularly with this group. It's a non-starter to not have that. So that's how we're going in to Saturday. In terms of it being, a rivalry game and all that, I'd love to be able to say, hey, we can turn up how much we want to win from where it is in other games, but we really want to win every game in the same way. I think that what happens in these games, I've been a part of different programs, pretty much every program you have a rivalry game or more. You just got to make sure that you don't lose a focus on what goes into winning. And that's whether the other team's wearing red or yellow or green or purple or beige. It doesn't really matter. Wisconsin's obviously got a really good team. We're going to their place. It's our first true road game that we're playing in. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to really, really come together around what's required to compete to win one possession in a game like that. And then you go win one possession, then you try to go win the next one. Obviously, we're going to go after it with everything we have. Thank you, guys.